Hello, I'm BXToyCat and welcome back to the video. Today I have a review of the Super Mario Mashup Pack for you all. This is a piece of DLC that released just yesterday for Minecraft on the Wii U and which is entirely free to download, which is really interesting because usually when I make these Mashup Pack review videos, I'm trying to let you know about whether the Mashup Pack is good value for money by showing you it and by letting you know about some of the elements I've noticed as I played it. However, with this particular example, it is an entirely free Mashup Pack, which means that it's not really value for money, it's just entirely free. Of course you're going to download it, but this is more of a comparison to kind of let you see what it is if you don't have the Mashup Pack, and also to kind of talk about whether you should buy the Wii U version if you own a Wii U and you just don't have Minecraft for it yet, or maybe something along those lines. So yeah, that's what today's review is for. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. If you do, like the video and let me know because it helps out the channel and lets me know you do like these DLC reviews I do for the console versions of Minecraft. With that said, let's get straight into the video already, shall we? And let's start by talking about the review because it's going to be coming in 3 separate parts. Because like a Mashup Pack, there are 3 major parts to it. There's the Mashup Pack world, the thing you're seeing me in right now. There is the texture pack, that's the the thing they put on the blocks, because these aren't normal Minecraft blocks. This isn't how leaves look, that's not how sand looks, that's not how grass looks, it's just a texture pack on there. And then finally we've got the skin pack. So yeah, 3 separate parts, 3 separate reviews. The first one's really easy because it's the skin pack, then we'll go into the Mashup Pack world, then we'll talk about the texture pack itself, because I did a lot of looking around some, non-Mashup Pack worlds, and there are some things that I had to point out, both on the positive and the negative side. So keep all of that in mind as we go straight into this. I am a big Nintendo fan, so if you don't like your Mario, maybe things change for you. But yeah, let's start by talking about the skin pack, shall we? Because the thing about the Super Mario skin pack, which is found here, interestingly in the M's for me, I guess maybe you're looking for Mario, so you end up here, but either point, yeah. Basically, yeah, this is the Super Mario Mashup Pack. It has roughly, I think it's something like 30-40 skins. You get a lot of skins, most of them are Mario, but you also get to play every other major character you might want to, so you can play as Luigi, you can play as Peach, Yoshi, Bowser, etc, etc. Pretty much any major, main story Mario character, which is awesome. If you ever wanted to be Waluigi in Minecraft, guess what? You can do that. And although it looks ridiculous in a lot of situations, it is so cool to be able to play your Nintendo favorite character on your, Wii U version of the game. And it's one of those things that can only be done because of this specific partnership between 4J and, Nintendo. And that's just something I find incredibly awesome. So yeah, this is, again, it's a skin pack that lets you play as any Mario character you've ever wanted to. And I'm sure you basically get the point by now. Lots and lots and lots of skins. Maybe you find one that you're like, aha, that's the one for me. Like Rosalina for me, I was like, that's an interesting skin. But Birdo, like Dr. Mario, you get the point. We've gone through all of them. I personally really like Shy Guy. If you just want like a meek little skin with a hilarious way of armor fitting on them, then the Shy Guy has to be the one for you. But with that said, that's the skin pack. I think it's just great. I think if you've ever wanted to be a Mario character in Minecraft, or you just don't have a skin yet and you'd like to pick one, I think everyone can identify as one of the Mario skins, whether it is Waluigi, whether it is Dr. Mario, or whether it is Shy Guy, whatever it is, then you can pick it based on that. So yeah, that's the first and most easy part of the review. Let's move into the second part and talk about the world a little bit, because the world was the part I was most excited for, but there is a couple of things I would like to say about this, because what you might anticipate based on either the trailer or just based on, like kind of hearsay, is, kind of a lot of different builds from the Minecraft kind of thing, and although it is that to some extent, it is kind of worth clarifying a little bit based on what I thought and what I found. So yeah, this is a Super Mario Mashup Pack world. When you start the world, which you press start world for, you'll spawn just over here in a giant mushroom house, and you can go through this warp pipe which takes you to this giant hub area over here. So this hub area kind of implies you go to 3 separate locations, but for the most part there is it is just one massive location, which is based on the the Super Mario World, the SNES and the NES games, which means that it is looking it's the the 3D perspective of what would be a 2D map. So there is some platforming to be done to get around the place. So if we go over here, for instance, you can see you hop around there to do that, you can eventually get over to there and find something music and whatnot. But yeah, if you can, there's a lot of parkour to be done around the place, but it is mostly the 2D map in the 3D game, which to me it was kind of cool to go around, but it was something that after a while was just like, this isn't quite as cool as the thing that I thought was the coolest and the thing I was hoping there'd be more of, which is to do with the 3D part. So yeah, super awesome world, really fun to check out, and it really does give you a Mario experience in Minecraft. But to some extent, it wasn't quite what I was expecting, which was a lot more set pieces and stuff like this. Because if you go all the way to this side of the world, you can see the doors over there, you'll find stuff like this, which is the stuff I was so pumped to see. And boom, it's Peach's Castle, but made in Minecraft. And although you can see maps like this on the PC, the fact that it's made so well and integrated so well with the texture pack is just something that to me is really, really great like that. Also, giant Peaches staring at you from the distance. A little bit creepy if you ask me that, I think about it. But yeah, as you can see, they have recreated quite a few few things. Like in this particular case, they made the main lobby and the the outside of the castle from Super Mario 64. But beyond that, they haven't really made any particular levels from the 3D games. There is just a big reference to Super Mario 64 and a giant reference to Super Mario Sunshine, of course. So if you like either of these games, like I like both of them a lot, it is really cool just to be able to explore both of these areas inside Minecraft. Like, look at this, we're in Delfino Plaza now, and that's just so great to me. Of course, there are secrets to be found in both these places, so, there is actually some reason to go here, and it is pretty cool in that way. However, they are mostly just like, here's a small part of the game, we're just going to have that in the corner. That's a cool thing you can find. If you like those games, you found it, and that's great. But if you don't like them, then it's just something in the corner, which, it's something worth pointing out because it was different to my expectations. However, the actual map itself, again, is actually quite a bit of great fun. Like, it really is, like, the pathway between it, which is meant to be kind of like the level progression thing, is actually pretty fun in my opinion. Like, also, I could have just gone around that one entirely. I don't know why this fence needs to be here. But yeah, it's actually really fun in my opinion, the fact that you have this little pathway that takes you around the place, and it means that you just kind of explore the map bit by bit. Every now and then you find some castles, and you're like, oh, look at this, we got some castle to explore. And the castles, not all of the castles have like a 50-50 split between giving you loot and giving you music discs, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. There's a big overarching quest of trying to get all 12 discs, which is easier on this map than it has been in past, in case you're curious as to how hard that is. It's something I did in 3¼ hours on stream. Probably would take you a little bit less or a little bit longer, depending on your skill level, I guess. And yeah, that's that. So yeah, as you can see, this is very clearly based on the hub levels, and it's something that's pretty cool to check out, and there's a lot of warps and stuff, but it's something you do have to keep in mind. It is based on the 2D games, which, if I don't know, I wasn't quite so into those because I played on the Game Boy rather than the NES at that point, but for those sorts of games. But yeah, it's something that is worth mentioning. Lots and lots and lots of that, and lots of fun things to explore. Even if you don't like that though, like I said, there's lots of set pieces to be found around the world. For instance, you actually can go inside, just over here, for instance, there's a crashed boat. Just over here, for instance, there's a giant airship. You can get on top of that. I won't spoil how, but it's actually quite a few ways there. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that just around the place that you can go and you can explore, and it's pretty awesome in that way. So the Mashup Pack world as a whole, what I'd like to say is it's awesome. I feel like it wasn't quite as, expansive as I was thinking in my head. I was thinking just a whole map of, really cool scenes from, this or that. But yeah, for the most part, it's just like the kind of 2D platforming, taking you from place to place and small castles and stuff. But still, it does exist. It is pretty cool. There's really cool stuff just all around the place. And if you like your, just your single set pieces, so whether it's the Bowser, tunnel mouth here, whether it is the giant airship over here, for instance, or whether it's just any of the pixel art they have in between, this map is great for it. But yeah, that's just one thing I wanted to mention. A little bit, of pixel art, again, big reliance on statues and stuff, and the actual, the things themselves, they are, for the most part, easy castles. If you want to do this with friends, you're not going to have too much of a problem. It's not like the crazy puzzles we had in the Halloween Mashup Pack, and that's something that you might think is awesome, or something you might think is the opposite. Either way, that's something you have to kind of work out by yourself. But if you just want to play around, roam around, some Mario worlds from your SNES days, or you just want to, platform around the place and explore a map, this is great, and this is perhaps the best Mashup Pack world ever. So yeah, keep that in mind. Not as puzzly, very platformy, but that fits the Mario pretty well if you ask me. So Mashup Pack review, pretty darn good. I think there's not much replay value to the whole thing. I think, it's awesome to look at. Once you do it the first time, you spend those first 4 hours, there isn't much reason to go around besides to look at the awesome stuff, which for the record, I didn't notice a lot of this stuff the first time. There is just so many cool things just all around the place, like this guy, and, if you want to go around and look at them again in creative, it's something worth doing, in my opinion. It's what I've had a little bit of fun doing, because there's so much of it. Like, I mentioned, like, there's almost so much that it's almost problematic, because your eye is always drawn to them, but, like, yeah, lots and lots of Mario characters, all made in Minecraft. It's pretty cool in that way. But anyway, let's focus away from that, and away from the giant Mario statue that we've just walked into, to talk about the texture pack a little bit, because I feel like the texture pack is really well made to fit this Mashup Pack world. This is a great experience for the first time. Like, I had the most amazing time on this yesterday, just, roaming around the place, or it's the day as I record this, but yesterday, I believe, as I upload this, I had the most amazing time, like, roaming around the place and just, having fun, that whole thing. But I feel like the texture pack is good. It's really, really close to the cartoon texture pack, but it's not amazing for just playing by yourself, unless this is perfectly what you want. So, to explain what I mean by that, because, how is this not a perfect texture pack? Look how awesome it looks in this case. So, bear in mind, it looks so awesome because there are so many colourful things to kind of fit the cartoony feel. The thing about Minecraft and Mario is they have very different I don't know, I guess color palettes, that to have things look like they do in Minecraft and still kind of make sense, you get a really, really bizarre thing where everything's just super light and super weird to look at. So, for instance, I kind of prove this point. Look at just, you know, any normal biome and any real structure. So here's a forest, for instance. Here's a forest in the Super Mario Mashup pack. Very, very colorful. Not only are the flowers moving, which is something a lot of text packs do, but just look at the trees. Like, it's either this color or it's just that bright color. And very, very eye-drawing. This is just a forest. Look at a savanna biome. So I kind of spoiled it by going there earlier, but just look how bright this thing is. I mean, to you, you might think, oh yeah, this is entirely fine. And if that's you, this is a great texture pack, but for me, this is just too much. The brightness of the yellow combining with the brightness of the trees, and you know, just the fact that it's just too bright and doesn't really work too Minecrafty in my head, like it doesn't instantly convert. That's something I did have a problem with. I think maybe over time you can learn to like this thing more, but you know, during the little bit of experience, well, decent amount of experience, I should say, just roaming around worlds and looking at stuff like this, I feel like a lot of stuff, particularly when it comes to the brighter stuff, is just kind of unbearable to look at, in my opinion. However, with that said, it means the other biomes, which are usually kind of dull in regular Minecraft, are still pretty exciting. So, for instance, the Mega Tiger biome and the Tiger in general, I don't know, I really like the look of this thing. Oh, not with the Mega Tiger and the weird stuff. But if you look at a regular Tiger, just this is a really nice kind of foresty look, and it's pretty cool if you ask me. Like this is normally a really dull color of grass, with a dull color of tree, and just all that sort of stuff. And here, the cartoony thing makes it work really well. So maybe it's just a problem with like brightness in me, and I don't like bright colors, or maybe it is a problem with the thing that you're seeing too. But you know, this is something you have to kind of work out yourself based on what you're seeing right here. So here's a swamp, I believe. Yeah, as you can see, even the swamp, it just looks a little bit better like this, and that's pretty cool if you ask me. So yeah, that's the text pack right there. Talking about the overworld, it's worth mentioning. I haven't done much tunneling, but I looked underground. I looked at the ores. For the most part, underground is pretty easy to understand. Like, actually, you know what, let's just show you right now. Let's just dig underground. As you can see, the stone is a roughly, you know, understandable block. Also, what did we just dig through right there? Was it like a mob spawn or something? Because there's a lot of cobblestone just around here, or some other block. I guess it's andesite or diorite or something. But yeah, as you can see, the ores are pretty easy to spot and understand which one's which. This isn't the nicest... Oh, is this an ore? I'm pretty sure that's coal ore right there. But yeah, as you can see, you know, most of the ores are pretty easy to spot. Oh, look how nice granite is. But yeah, for the most part, like, going underground, it's an easy enough experience. It's not really, really problematic like it is in some. Also look at gravel, for instance. The problem I'd say is, like, sometimes it gets a bit too colourful down there, and sometimes, you know, like, the ores just are really striking. They don't match with the stone at all, which, you know, kind of good, kind of bad. And it just means that if you're going to be tunneling in this texture pack, one, I feel like most tunneling's done in default anyway, but if you are the sort of guy that likes to do a lot of tunneling, a lot of mining, a lot of stuff like this, just keep that in mind in this texture pack. It does have some of the problems other texture packs have, where it is a little, like, you know, the difference between the thing and that is kind of, I guess, striking and shocking and all those other words that describe that. So, finally, let's talk about the Nether and let's talk about the End. Because the overworld, like I said, super colourful, super all that, but the Nether and the End are actually both very different experiences because they're built from very different blocks, and those different blocks get textured in different ways, and I think it's quite positive in this particular case, because when we go to the Nether, which I have in my Savannah biome, because, I don't know, just this genuinely hurts me to look at, just one more time, like, I really don't know if that's something that's just me or if everyone's kind of getting that, but yeah, that's the thing you can get right there. But let's go to the Nether, through the awesome Nether portal, by the way. Like, I love this effect. Also, I love the color in general. Like, the red on the blue looks really nice, or it's roughly blue, but the Bowser effect on top of that, it just really, you know, adds the thing to the cake. So, as we go to the Nether, the thing about the Nether that makes it really awesome, in my opinion, is the fact that, you know, the Netherrack, it's a cool texture, but it also kind of, you know, it works like Netherrack. It's not trying to be too much, and it means you get this, you know, kind of nice blend as you're walking around the place that I think works really well. However, you look at the other blocks, so if you look at Nether Quartz, that stands out reasonably well enough without being too much. You know, it's just the right amount, I guess you could say. The fire, really cool Super Mario fire, so you looked at it and you're just like, this is cartoony, but still not ruining for me. Lava texture, I think, is a pretty standard one. It's better than the default one, which is pretty nice to me. And then finally we've got glowstone, soul sand, and gravel and all that sort of stuff, and they all look really cool and they all kind of blend to me. So gravel, as you can see up there, I know, there's something a bit cakey about this to me. I don't know why it looks that way, but still it looks like that. We've got glowstone up here, which really looks like just a pillar of quartz falling from the ceiling in a way that I think is really, really awesome. And then, yeah, that's just kind of that right there. So, yeah, this is the Nether Fortress. By the way, the Mashup Pack world does go into the Nether too, so if you like the challenge and that whole thing, there is a a reasonably sized challenge here, which you might enjoy doing with friends. I really do think this Mashup Pack world is probably going to be one that's better with friends, because the whole thing kind of signifies that it's built for like 2 or 3 players, which, again, something you might want to keep in mind as you do this whole thing. But yeah, this is the Nether pretty good in my opinion. I think as far as Nethers go, this is one of the best. Sometimes they tried to make everything too crazy and ununderstandable. I don't like that too much. But this one, Netherrack is interesting and, you know, a usable texture without ruining the Nether, which is something I always think is a nice balance to get. The Nether brick looks roughly the same as it does, and every other block really does work quite well, and especially the Nether portal, and also especially, just in case you haven't seen it yet, the ghast texture. So I've gone over this so many times, but I love the ghast texture. Look at this thing. It is just the most amazing thing, and he covers his eye, the boot texture covers his eyes when he fires at you, which is just great if you ask me. So yeah, that is my opinion on the Nether in general, as well as all the mobs. Pretty cool. I like it quite a bit. So anyway, let's talk about the end right now. Or before we go there, actually, let's talk about the overworld mobs, because they are all Super Mario characters. So again, show a lot of these in the mob showcase, but just some of these were just so cool to me. So for instance, if we spawn in a, I think it's if we spawn in a chicken. The chickens, for instance, they're Goombas. Look at that, the chickens are Goombas. If we spawn in a sheep, for instance, so let's find a sheep just over here, and then let's get ourselves some dye, I guess, like, I don't know, some green dye, or light blue dye apparently, and let's get ourselves some shears. This is a sheep. So a sheep is a Goomba, you might have seen, but the coolest thing about that is if you shear off the Goomba, you get one of these, and that's just great to me. I just really do like that. So yeah, let's spawn in one more so I can show you what happens when the colors change it. It's really weird because it doesn't change the shell, it just changes the bit under the shell. And I don't know, I think that's kind of interesting. You get a blue-shelled Goomba. I think all of the mobs are excellent. I think this is the best set of mobs we've ever had, because they are all such recognizable characters, and it's pretty great in that way. So yeah, with that said, let's move on from the mobs in the overworld and the Nether and stuff to the end, because that's an important part of every texture pack. So this one gets in a very interesting way. But yeah, let's head over there now. It involves switching worlds, so quick jump cut. Okay, so here we are in the end. The end is, of course, the final kind of part we wanted to talk about today, because it's an important dimension, and a lot of people spend a lot of time here, whether it's on end farms or something like that, and it's worth mentioning, you know, the color of an entire dimension and the way the whole thing kind of works together. And I will say, besides the very bizarre choice of the endstone block, like, I mean, it's deliberately designed to look like something else for some form of build, besides, the bizarre kind of pattern of this, I think the end does, in general, look pretty good. You look around the place and you're like, yeah, it's just an end with a bizarre flooring. The obsidian works well enough for this. The end crystals, they work well enough. And the dragon, he's an interesting fight, but I think that's really cool. Also, the rainbow that comes between it just makes the dragon feel like an entirely different fight. Like, even though it's the exact same attack, as you can see, it's doing Ender Acid, that's kind of that, it just feels an entirely different, because you can still attack the wings, by the way, they just aren't really there, which is just something you might not know. But yeah, basically, you feel like you have an entirely different end fight, which is something I think is awesome. And long story short, I think this is one of the cooler ends, and I'd really like to get to the end, in this mashup pack, just to, kind of experience this thing firsthand. So that's something I might do at some point. While we're here anyway, I'd just like to go some final thoughts about the mashup pack, because in general, skin pack is awesome. If you want a skin, then this texture pack almost certainly has it, because everyone loves a Mario character. The mashup pack world is great to play with friends. If you have a friend to play with, I definitely recommend doing that. But even by yourself, it's a solid 3 or 4 hours entertainment, which I wouldn't say could justify the purchase of Minecraft Wii U, because that's like, $5 an hour or something. But if you kind of wanted it anyway, then that's an easy way to justify it with those like 3-4 hours of fun. But then on top of those, on top of those things alone, you've also got, the stuff like the amazing music. It's all Super Mario 64 music. Pretty much the entire soundtrack is there. Like right now, you can hear, like Bowser's final theme world. And yeah, there's like 3 music tracks for the Nether, 3 music tracks for the end, as well as something like 10 from the overworld. So much Super Mario music. All of it gets me nostalgic. And long story short, I'm very, very, very excited to bring you more of this stuff. So with that said, I hope you did all enjoy today's video. If you did like it, like the video and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. I still just love the Shy Guys and Stilts. Like, to me, that's just one of the smartest ways they've done a thing. But yeah, with that said, hope you all enjoyed the video, because I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!